All right, let's talk about the single most important skill that's going to define the next decade, AI automation. Seriously, getting a handle on this isn't just about surviving what's coming, it's about thriving in it. So let's dive into what this is all about.
Here's the game plan for this explainer. First, we're going to tackle that big question. Is AI a threat or an opportunity? Then we'll look at how we got here, with the evolution of automation. We'll break down the anatomy of how these things actually work, and then see a digital worker in action. After that, we'll check out the toolkit you need to build your own, and wrap up with why this is basically an untapped gold rush happening right now.
Okay, let's just get right to it. The question that is on literally everyone's mind. When we look at AI, are we looking at massive disruption or massive opportunity? Well, the truth is, it's absolutely both.
And check this out, because this is where it gets really interesting. On the one hand, you've got McKinsey saying that by 2030, AI could automate half of all the things we currently do at work. That's the threat, right? But on the flip side, the World Economic Forum found that 2/3 of employers are actively trying to hire people with AI skills. That's the opportunity.
So this brings us to the single most important takeaway. It's not about humans versus machines. It's about learning to leverage this crazy new power. The real danger isn't that AI is going to take your job. It's that a person who knows how to use AI will. This is all about empowerment, not replacement.
Now, to really get what AI automation is all about, we've got to take a quick step back and look at where automation came from. Because this isn't just some small update. We are talking about a whole new species of automation.
Old school automation was, well, kind of dumb, right? It was super rigid. It followed a simple if this, then that logic. So if someone fills out a form, then save that info to a spreadsheet. It was great for boring, repetitive stuff. But AI automation, whoa, that's a different beast entirely. It actually has a brain. It can read an email, understand the tone, figure out what the person wants, and then draft a custom reply. That's something that used to take a human.
So if we were to just boil it all down, here's a simple way to think about it. AI automation is just a system that uses artificial intelligence to do the complex, thinky stuff that a human would normally have to do.
And I love this analogy because it's just so perfect. Old automation was like a bicycle. You know, it was useful, it got the job done, but adding AI was like taking that bicycle and strapping a V12 engine to it. The power and the speed are just, they're on a whole other planet.
Okay, I know this might sound super complicated, but here's the secret. Every single one of these powerful systems is just built from a few simple parts. It's really just like a digital assembly line, where every little piece has one specific job to do. So let's walk down this assembly line. It all starts with a trigger. That's the go button, like a new email hitting your inbox. Then you have a filter, which is like quality control. It asks, hey, is this email marked urgent? And decides whether to keep going. Next are the actions, the actual jobs, like updating a database. But here's the magic, the intelligence layer. That's the AI brain that thinks and makes decisions. Then a formatter might clean things up, and finally you get the output, the finished product, like that perfectly drafted reply getting sent out. All right, enough with the theory. Let's see what happens when you actually put all these building blocks together to create what's basically a digital worker that can handle an entire business process from start to finish. So you might be wondering, okay, what can you actually build with this stuff? What does a system like this really look like when it's helping a real business?
Okay, just picture this scenario. A potential customer goes to a website and fills out a contact form. Instantly, and I mean instantly, an AI goes out and researches that person's company. Then an AI voice agent calls the person on the phone to ask a couple of quick questions. And based on that call, a totally custom, personalized proposal gets created and emailed over. And here's the kicker. All of that, it happens in a matter of minutes, 24/7, without a single human being having to lift a finger. That's the incredible power you unlock when you start chaining these AI skills together. You're not just saving time, you're creating a superhuman level of responsiveness.
So you're probably thinking, okay, that's amazing, but I'm not a coder. How could I ever build that? Well, here is the best part. You don't have to be. You just need to know which tools to use. Think of them like Lego blocks for building your own digital assembly line.
Let's open up the toolkit. There are really just 5 types of tools you need to know. First, you've got your workflow builders like Make or Zapier. These are the brains of the operation that connect everything else together. Then you need databases, your digital filing cabinets like Airtable or Google Sheets. You've got your communication tools, your messengers like Slack and Gmail. Of course, you have the AI models themselves from places like OpenAI.
These are your genius buddies. And finally, you have your forms, the front doors that let all the information into your system.
All right, let's bring this all home and talk about the final and maybe the most important piece of the puzzle, the opportunity. Because learning how to snap these Lego blocks together is one of the most valuable skills you can possibly have right now. We are talking about a true, untapped gold rush.
Just get a load of this number. This is wild. For every one person out there offering to help businesses with AI automation, there are 1,100 businesses that need that help. Just think about that supply and demand. It's insane. The demand is off the charts and there's almost nobody there to meet it.
And that's because the biggest opportunity, the real money, isn't in trying to build the next giant AI model. It's an implementation. It's about being the person who can walk into a normal, everyday business, a dentist's office, a construction company, you name it, and help them use these amazing new tools to actually get ahead.
You know, Mark Cuban put it perfectly. He basically said, look, there's a massive number of people who want to use this technology, but they just don't know how. And if you can be the person that helps them solve that, they will happily pay you. You become the bridge between the crazy new tech and the real-world business.
So there you have it. We've gone through the what, the why, and the how of AI automation. You've seen the threat, you've seen the massive opportunity, you know the building blocks, and you know the tools in the toolkit. So the only real question left is, what problem are you going to solve first?